What's going on, fight fans? It's your host Sebastian, and we're back with the boxing tip. Now, this is going to be my breakdown and prediction video for Oleksandr Usyk versus, I'm trying to think about how you say this, Thabiso Mchunu, something like that. Quite frankly, I haven't heard of this guy up until recently, but I have been doing my studying on him, been watching his fights, watching some videos, picking out a few things that I do like from him. But first, let me go ahead and start off by saying that I was going to make a B-Hop versus Joe Smith Jr. breakdown and prediction video. The only problem is it is allegedly B-Hop's last fight. So I didn't want to do a breakdown and prediction video on someone's last fight. Instead, regardless if he wins or loses this fight, I just want to say that I want to wish B-Hop a happy retirement. He's put in a lot of years into this sport, a lot of hard work, behind the scenes and in the ring. So, he is a legend of the sport, future Hall of Famer for sure. And once again, I just want to wish him a happy retirement. But let's go ahead and get into the fight. First off, let me start by saying that I think this fight was kind of meant as a showcase type of fight for Oleksandr Usyk's debut on American television, HBO more specifically. So as you can see here, I didn't want to get too deep into this fight. I've been waiting to make an Oleksandr Usyk versus anybody prediction video. I really wish I would have caught that Glowacki fight, but I didn't have my channel then. So not saying that Thabiso don't stand a chance. Remember guys, this is boxing. Anybody who has a pair of gloves on and steps into the ring has a chance. Regardless if you want to count them out or not, call them bums, say whatever the fuck you want about them, everyone stands a chance. I'm pretty sure people were picking Edward Troyanovsky to just blow right through Ndongo, and you see what happened in 40 seconds. So I try to keep it pretty neutral when it comes to these fight predictions and breakdowns. But with that being said, guys, let me go ahead and get into the actual breakdown and prediction. I am excited for this fight. I'm excited for the Hopkins Smith Jr. fight as well. I know Slava Shabransky fights today. I am picking him to win, by the way. Sullivan Barrera, good fighter. Shabransky, this is probably a little bit of step up in competition for him, so I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. But with that being said, guys, once again, let's go ahead and get into this. Anyways, so first let's go ahead and see how these guys stack up. We got Oleksandr Usyk 10-0 with 9 KOs. He's also the WBO Cruiserweight champion. Beat Glowacki in brilliant boxing fashion to win the title. He's going up against Thabiso Mchunu, I think that's how you say it again. 17-2 with 11 KOs. He has been stopped twice. Those were those two losses came from. I didn't actually see the fights where he lost. I should have, but kind of hard to track him down, being that he's not the biggest name. But as usual, guys, I usually pick about 5 things or 5 qualities about each fighter going in. But this time I decided, like I said, to keep it a little bit shorter. Instead, I just picked 3. Oleksandr Usyk, I could have made a mile-long list about things that I like about him. Thabiso, I could have made 5, but I picked out 3 of the things that I liked about him the most. So that's why I picked 3 for Usyk as well, just to kind of keep it neutral. But let's go ahead and talk first about Thabiso Mchunu. Okay, so the first point that I got listed is his Philly shell stance, particularly for his defense. Now, as you guys know, that the Philly shell is a very effective stance for your defense. It allows you to roll shots easier. Most of the source of the defense from getting away from punches are bending at the waist. He likes to bend at the waist to get away so he can keep his feet planted but still be able to move out of range, keep his head out of range of shots. As you guys know, Floyd Mayweather fights in the Philly shell primarily when he's in his defensive mode. It's how he's able to roll punches, create some very awkward angles that fighters would have to throw punches, and kind of a simple roll back and forth motion, keeping your gloves tucked, your glove tucked to your face and allowing your shoulder to kind of hide your chin. So Thabiso does implement that in his game, particularly for his defense, and particularly for his inside work. Now, his inside work is pretty good from what I've been seeing on the fights that I've been watching. He plants his feet, keeps a strong stance, not too wide, about shoulder width, kind of never stops moving at the waist, keeps his hips rolling. His hips rolling with his punches allows him to kind of transition between defense and offense very smoothly. It's a really smooth transition, rolls shots, throws counters, you know, with the momentum of his hips swaying. So it's a beautiful thing to watch, man. I like it when Floyd does it. I'm not comparing this guy to Floyd, by the way, you know, before the really passionate Floyd Mayweather fans jump on me for it. They do fight in different fashion, but they do use a similar stance. And along with that inside work, he uses quick, short punches that have some pretty good pop from what I've seen. Like I said, everything's kind of one fluid motion in that Philly cheese stance. You know, he's moving his hips, bending at the waist to avoid shots, using the momentum of his waist movement to use his quick, short shots, pretty much capitalizing on every punch that he slips or rolls, you know, turning it into an opportunity to counter punch, getting his opponent out of position to land some good shots. And he doesn't just stand there and punch, guys. I mean, he does move his feet. You know, he'll try to circle around, take, you know, small, very subtle, quick circular steps to kind of create angles to get different punches in, like to the body, to the head. You know, puts him in a better position to defend against punches coming at him. So Thabiso, man, he's pretty decent. That's why I don't want to count him out completely. You know, obviously I'm picking Oleksandr Usyk to win. The dude is a master boxer in my opinion. I mean, this guy, you know, if he makes things complicated for Oleksandr Usyk and is able to kind of neutralize Usyk's footwork, you know, he stands a pretty good chance, because it's going to be Usyk's footwork that's going to negate that Philly shell. The problem is a lot of times with fighters who've had hard times with the Philly shell is that they're punching from one angle. They're not trying to step around. You know, they're not trying to step around that guard to get punching angles. At least it creates openings. If it ain't the biggest opening for the haymaker chin check, you know what I'm saying? It's openings to score punches. And maybe if you land enough good punches that are effective, like to the body especially, it could break that shell, you know, that tight Philly shell guard, and really start opening them up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Oleksandr Usyk's 3 points, and I'll get into detail about those. So the first one about Usyk that I want to talk about is his punch selection. Now listen, guys, regardless of what you say, in my eyes, he is the closest thing to a Vasyl Lomachenko that I've seen so far. And it's easy to compare these guys. They fought on the same Olympic team. They trained together, had the same Olympic coach, which is Anatoly Lomachenko. Both fight in very similar fashion. Now, there are some differences, obviously, but the punch selection, there's a difference there, but it's not a huge difference. Now, Oleksandr Usyk, like Lomachenko, like Gvozdyk, uses decoy shots with no bad intentions on them to open up his opponent to land hard shots or distract them from the real power shots. Keeps them thinking. And what I mean is, you ever see Oleksandr Usyk, you know, he'll have his opponent standing right there with him, and he'll throw little punches, but it's not any punch that's gonna hurt the guy until he sees the opening. If they adjust their defense in a certain way that creates an opening, he's going to know it, and that's where he's going to throw the power, particularly to the body. For some reason, these guys have almost like a primary focus to just nail your body as hard as they can. Same goes with the head. They have the sort of style and punch selection that's going to beat you down over a course of time. They're not going to get in there and try to knock you out right away. Matter of fact, they probably aren't even looking for the knockout. They're just looking to outbox you. But if you make it easy for them to outbox you, they're going to pick you apart. Eventually, you're just not going to be able to handle it. You know, Isaac Chilemba Gvozdyk, any opponent that Lomachenko has faced after Gary Russell Jr., it all happens the same exact way. And it seems like it doesn't really matter on what type of style these guys are fighting them in or how they choose to approach it. The end result is usually the same. Now, they do score big knockouts, but chances are they're going to beat you down until you're have nothing left before that knockout comes. They're very economical fighters, very conservative fighters, but it's not conservative to the point where it's not entertaining to watch, because these guys go to work. They treat this like their 9-to-5 job, and they are very dedicated to their work. They go in there, put that work in the same, if not harder and harder each fight, and get that same end result. So the punch selection from Usyk is beautiful. It's beautiful. Any shot is thrown with perfect form, good power, accurate as all hell, and they also shoot those throwaway shots to open you up, keeps you thinking. And I'm sure that it is quite overwhelming when you are getting tagged by a variation of different shots. You know what I'm saying? It becomes quite confusing. You don't really know what's coming next, and it makes you hesitant. It makes you very tentative to open up. You know what I'm saying? The next thing we're gonna go into is Oleksandr's footwork. For a cruiserweight, for any big guy really, he probably has the best footwork that I've seen. Dude moves like a welterweight. Very light steps. Doesn't plant his weight down fully unless he's gonna throw a decent shot. Is able to punch and move. Man, it is a great advantage when you're able to be light on your feet like that. And he doesn't just back straight up or go straight forward. He is constantly moving in a circular motion. If he keeps you turning, he'll never give you a chance to set yourself to throw a big shot at him. And he keeps moving around you to look for these different angles to punch you in. And he's a southpaw. Thabiso's a southpaw as well, so it's actually kind of interesting to see a southpaw versus a southpaw. But the skill that Usyk has, I'm sure he knows how to deal with the fellow southpaw as well. So yeah, I mean, Usyk has brilliant footwork. It's fluid, it's flexible, it's economical, it's not excessive, it's controlled. It's a brilliant thing to watch, and I'm expecting his footwork to show up 100% in this fight. Now the next point I got listed for Oleksandr Usyk is his quickness. I'm not going to talk about this one too much. His quickness, basically, he punches fast and he moves quick. For a 200-pounder, he's probably got some of the fastest hands and some of the fastest footwork that I've ever seen. And it's not sluggish whatsoever. And mind you guys, I mean, there's been guys who punch faster at heavier weight classes and move quicker. But I've never seen someone punch so sharp, so quick, and move so controlled and so fast. It's effective. It's effective quickness. It's not just quickness for no reason. It comes as a result of his technical ability. His quickness is a result of his technical ability. His style requires him to be a quick fighter. So that's pretty much all I got to say about both guys. How I feel like this fight's gonna play out. I think it's going to play out just like any other Oleksandr Usyk fight. I think he's just going to measure him. It might take a round or two. Once he gets Thabiso, once he gets his rhythm down, once he kind of feels him out, he's going to figure him out. And it's going to be, he's about to punch that clock and go to work. And I have a feeling it's not going to turn out any different than any other fight he's been in. I think he's just gonna outbox the guy. He might not knock him out, or he outboxes him so bad that he quits. You know, sounds familiar, right? Chilemba and Walters for Gvozdyk and Lomachenko. Now Oleksandr Usyk just needs to make somebody quick, and that might happen. Depends on how Oleksandr wants to approach it. If he approaches it the way he would usually approach a fight, pity pat punches, power in between, circle around him, be faster, see the shots coming, outwork him, overwhelm him. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect a different result. But like I said in the beginning of the video, everybody has a chance. The only thing that I could possibly see Thabiso doing that is gonna offset this entire fight is if he lands something big early. And whatever Oleksandr Usyk does to adjust to that, he needs to adjust to try to hurt him again, because if he allows Oleksandr Usyk to think, it's gonna be a done deal. And that's just the way that I feel about it. But I want to know how you guys feel about it, so comment on the video. Let me know who you think's gonna win. Let me know what you think about both fighters. Also share the video, guys, if you're trying to introduce someone to boxing and you're trying to put them on to Oleksandr Usyk. Hey, this would be a good video to start with that. you know, along with maybe some of his highlights. Same with the other guy, Thabiso. Also subscribe to the channel, guys. Like I said, I'm starting early today. I'm gonna be pumping out a lot more videos a lot more frequently, that I can guarantee you. And I want to thank you guys in advance for watching. Again, I always say this, I appreciate anybody who does watch my videos. And last but not least, this is your host Sebastian signing out with the boxing tip. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Peace out.